we approach the 8 p.m. hour, the race is being called by multiple outlets for former Vice President Joe Biden. We're giving you a live look there at his camp here in Columbia, with a win by a rather large margin so far. We are expecting former Vice President Joe Biden to speak shortly. We will bring you that live. But first, let's get more on today's election from our analyst, Judy.
All right, for everyone just joining us, our panel tonight includes Columbia City Councilwoman Tameika Isaac Devine, political strategist Joel Sawyer, and Dr. Todd Shaw, or Todd Shaw. Is it Dr. Shaw? I'm giving you.
Well, I can't deliver any kids.
Yes. I'm political science at Pepperdine University of South Carolina. Always great to have you all in because you do have such great insight about the race. I'm just going to throw this question out. How important was this win for Joe Biden tonight?
It was critical.
Critical?
It was critical for his campaign, not just to give him some win going into Super Tuesday, but also to help him raise some money. In the Super Tuesday states, he doesn't have the infrastructure because he hasn't really had the money. So now I've already started getting emails, fundraising emails from Joe Biden. So I think he'll raise some money tonight.
And how critical do we think the Clyburn endorsement was?
I think it was huge, and I think that, you know, and I'm usually the first person to kind of poo-poo endorsements.
I know, you're
right?
not a big
endorsement I'm not
guy.
a big endorsement
Exactly.
guy, but Clyburn is different, I think, because of the unique stature, the unique regard that the African-American community holds him in. And I think not just the endorsement, but to go out there and work. I mean, it's one thing to stand at a podium and say, I endorse this guy, all right, I'm out. It's another thing to actually go out and actively campaign and work for someone. So I think we'll see that in the numbers tonight.
And listen, it was an emotional endorsement. You can hear it in his voice. And he was on TV even today pushing his candidate.
Right.
So that made a big difference as well. Todd, looking ahead to Super Tuesday, what do you think the Bloomberg effect will be?
Well, it's hard to say now. It's Bloomberg hasn't done terribly well in the debates. And we're seeing...
He didn't do well at all.
Okay, he didn't do well at all.
He didn't do well at all.
He did badly. We're relative to the Star campaign, seeing that it's not just money that's going to win you nominations and that effect. And so he has a formidable challenge, particularly given where does he fit now relative to this moderate lane. If Joe Biden seems to be emerging in some clear ways, he was supposed to be the alternative.
Right.
What if he's not now the alternative?
Now, and for people who may just be tuning in, we are expecting for Joe Biden, he's been declared the expected winner of the South Carolina presidential primary. When he steps to the podium, which we are expecting to happen at about 8 o'clock, we'll go to him live. But let me ask this question, and again, I'm just going to throw this out there. The dancing of Tom Steyer. Why do we think that's going to win votes? I mean, what is it? So a political strategist. Who told him that would be a good idea? I mean, why? I mean, but he's not the only one, and he's not the first one that we see do something like that. What is that about?
Listen, Juvenile was on.
Listen.
I mean, what do you do? I don't know. I mean, there's a fine line when you're campaigning between looking like a real person and looking foolish.
And let me broaden my question out, because Elizabeth Warren brought John Legend in, but are people there to hear John Legend, or are they there to vote for Elizabeth Warren? That's really the question I'm getting at. When you bring, the celebrities and the big names in, is there any evidence that translates into votes?
Well, what I think that the surrogates, the big name celebrity surrogates do is it gets people there. And then once they're there, it's up to the candidate to convince the people who are there to say, I'm the candidate. And so I was at the John Legend event, and he gave a very passionate plea as to why he was supporting Elizabeth as well. And there were at least a couple people who said, I came in to hear John Legend, but, I'm going to take a look at Elizabeth Warren. Same thing with Tom Steyer. I think, to get, who's going to come and hear him speak. So you get Juvenile there, and it was a college campus. So, I'm kind of mixed on that because I've gotten to know Tom and Kat pretty well. I think Tom is very genuine. And so I think that was probably really his excitement and being happy, and also showing, I'm a billionaire, but I'm a real person.
I get that.
But
I will give him that.
But I do think there's a thin line, especially when it is the African-American vote, because I think you run the risk of people thinking as if you're pandering.
Yes.
And I think that's where some people thought it went.
Well, I will give him that you want to relate, to people, and I will also just say for the record, his wife is a much better dancer. So let me put that out there. Let me ask you about this, Todd, and Joel, if you would weigh in as well from your observations. We keep hearing so much about the black vote. I just really don't think there is any such thing. I see